My question goes to the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister promised Australians a $275 reduction in household power bills every single year. And yet, starting today, households in New South Wales will pay up to $1,000 more than promised. Queensland up to $948, South Australia up to $958 and in Victoria up to $657 more than promised. Will the Prime Minister come—
The member will pause. Members on my right have been continually interjecting. The member for McEwen and others know that it is highly disorderly, particularly when I'm trying to hear the question. So we'll start the question again. The member for Fairfax has the call and the clock will be reset.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question goes to the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister promised Australians a $275 reduction in household power bills every single year. And yet, starting today, households in New South Wales will pay up to $1,000 more than promised. Queensland up to $948, South Australia up to $958 and in Victoria up to $657 more. Will the Prime Minister come clean and concede his promise will never be met?
Give the call to the Prime Minister.
Thanks, Mr Speaker. And implicit in that question from the member for Fairfax is that if we just have a nuclear reactor in every state, in every electorate, sometime in the 2040s, it'll all be fixed. It'll all be fixed. It'll all be fixed.
Order.
I hope the member for Fairfax has told his constituents in his electorate that the member for Hume deliberately changed the law to conceal from them ahead of the last election a 20% increase, a 20% rise in their electricity bill. I hope that he's apologised to constituents for voting against the energy bill relief that has provided support at a time where we've seen global energy prices increase. But I hope he's told them as well that he was against the cap on coal and gas prices and the rebates for households and businesses. I hope that he's told his constituents as well that his policy is to invest billions, who knows how much, because we haven't seen anything, of taxpayer dollars in the most expensive form of new energy. And I hope that as well that he has tried to find a single business leader from the energy sector who has said that his plan stacks up at all. Because this is what the Chief Executive of Alinta Energy, Jeff Dimery, has had to say. We don't—
The member for Fisher, member for Fairfax, is seeking the call on a point of order, and I'd like to hear his point of order. The member for Fairfax on a point of order.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. And it is in regards to relevance, because the question had asked the Prime Minister if he will come clean and concede that his promise of a $275 reduction in household power bills will—
Resume your seat. Prime Minister was asked a question about the manager of opposition business trying to deal with the point of order. So if you could assist me, I can assist you. The question was about reduction in power, mentioned the price of power, and in particularly regarding certain states, and the issue of people paying more in the question. And then there was a question about the Prime Minister's commitment and about his promises. So the Prime Minister needs to make sure he's being directly relevant to the question and making sure his answer complies with the standing orders. The Prime Minister has the call.
Thanks, Mr Speaker. I certainly am. But they don't like these days the modern Liberal Party's against business having voices in it. It's quite interesting, quite perceptive. This is what Jeff Dimery had to say. We don't have time to get distracted by fringe voices anymore or to get lost in the gunners. We have to work with what we have today.
The member for
Fairfax is kind of like looking for unicorns in the garden. Unicorns in the garden. Energy Australia have had to say they're committed to Australia's clean energy transformation, reducing emissions as quickly and affordably as possible while maintaining system reliability. Origin, our primary focus is adding more supply from mature low-emissions technologies. AGL, nuclear energy is not part of these plans. AGL's ambition to add 12 gigawatts of new renewable and firming generation by 2035 does not include nuclear energy. Mr Speaker, no one serious takes their plans seriously, because it's done on the back of a beer coaster without any costing, without any detail and without any substance.